My dream when I started my career in 1999 at Government Hospital Mottupuzha was to offer a technologically advanced treatment in the field of IVF, laparoscopy, and at an affordable cost to the common man. The initial period of my life was spent in a small village near Trivandrum called Kadakkavar, where I spent up to 3 years. During my early school years, occasionally when I get sick, I was taken to pediatricians, local pediatricians, and I was fascinated by their behavior and the way they treat and way they get cured after the disease. And slowly started thinking about becoming a doctor. And later, I was thrilled and I wanted to be a doctor at some time in my life. And now I think what I did was right. I joined first MBBS in 1994 at Trivandrum Medical College. Just after joining the first MBBS, I got introduced to some of my closest friends of my life. So we were like-minded, and gradually somehow most of us came from the same background. We were very studious during our student days, and after entering into the medical college, somehow we had a feeling that everything was over. And we used to go for films, enjoy life, evening parties and all those things. We really enjoyed life at that time. And when the exams were nearing, many of us got tense, started studying, but unfortunately most of us didn't get through. And one of my closest friends, Sabu, he died immediately after that, and that was a very shocking incident in my life, which maybe changed my life completely. I also got depressed, and I was also not serious on my studies at that point of time, and I took around one year to get back into my real normal life. In the second half, I had a friend that his name is also Rajmohan. He is now an endocrinologist at Kim's Hospital. We were very bonded, and with his help, I came back to normalcy and did my clinical, that is the third year, fourth year, and the final year very well. At home during this period, my parents, especially my father, was very supportive, and he used to encourage me during all these failures.
If you ask me about what is particularly interesting about Sabine is that it's his sincerity. Whether it's his friendship, whether it is in academics, whether it comes to any sort of a matter he handles, he takes it to the utmost sincerity, and that's why he's so successful in his life. But at that point in early 1990s, he was not like that. Everybody is surprised. Even my mother today told me Sabine has reached such a big level. She's surprised because he was very, very jovial, friendly guy. Next door guy who used to come and chat with us.
Now, what message I have to convey to my juniors, fellow doctors, fellow MBBS aspirants? You should learn how to handle failures. We should learn how to handle tragedies. If I had been upset at that during my first MBBS, I would have been not sitting here and talking to you at this time. That is very important. You should learn to face failures, come out of it with power. After my graduation and completing my house surgency, the next step is to go for a post-graduation. My intention was to go for one of the surgical specialties like surgery, general surgery or orthopedics. But somehow in the first entrance, All India entrance exam, I landed up in gynecology in Kottayam Medical College. Even though I was not interested in gynecology at the time of joining the post-graduation at Kottayam Medical College, after joining, I was inspired by the teachings of my professor and the HOD at that time, Dr. Rajan of Kottayam, and I gradually started getting interested in the subjects, especially laparoscopy and infertility. After completing my post-graduation in gynecology, I worked as a non-PG resident in CMC Vellore, where I learned how to counsel patients very well, where I started getting interest in IVF and laparoscopy, where I learned much more in detail about IVF and ICSI, and I was under the leadership of Dr. George Kurla, who taught me all these things. After returning from Vellore, I joined the Kerala Health Services at Taluk Hospital, Moattura, as a gynecologist. So I still remember I was a male gynecologist, so people used to come and peep in through the half door to see who is in, whether it's a lady or a male, and many of them used to walk back without seeing me. At that point of time, even I was depressed because nobody was coming to me. I even thought of changing my specialty because of this. Gradually, people started seeing me and they were very happy with my treatment, and I was also liking their loving nature, affectionate nature. I got very much bonded to them and used to give them good service almost all the time. I used to come to the hospital whenever they called me. So later, after this, I started a laparoscopy unit in government hospital Moattura with the help of the municipality, and we used to do all sorts of laparoscopy surgeries in the government hospital, and that became a referral center for laparoscopy surgeries from all over Kerala. I still remember the services and help which I received from veterans who were like Dr. Sumangala Devi, who retired from Taluk Hospital. So when I joined young there, naturally I used to have so many doubts, I need help. So they used to help me very well. And Dr. Vincent Olikan, he is a surgeon. He used to help me come to the hospital and help me voluntarily for surgeries.
എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു 97 റിട്ടയർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് 2001 സബേൻ താലൂക്ക് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ സബേൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും സർജറിയിൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് വരുമ്പോൾ ഹെൽപ്പിന് വിളിക്കുമായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ പോയി ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കും. ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ ഹി വാസ് വെരി പോപ്പുലർ ദർ. പേഷ്യൻസ് എല്ലാവരും തന്നെ സബേനെ കാണാൻ, അന്ന് അവിടെ വേറൊരു ഗൈനക്കോളജിസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, ശ്രീകല, അവർ രണ്ടുപേരും വളരെ പോപ്പുലറായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ രണ്ടുപേരും എന്നെ ഹെൽപ്പിന് വിളിക്കുമായിരുന്നു, ഞാൻ ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് സബേനായിട്ടുള്ള ഏതാണ്ട് 24 കൊല്ലത്തെ കോണ്ടാക്റ്റാണ് സബേനുമായിട്ട്. ഇപ്പോഴും ആ സൗഹൃദം തുടർന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു.
Later, I got transferred from there to a local primary health center. At that time, I realized the love and affection of the people. Lot of people from in and around Moattura came to the hospital, requested the superintendent, gave request to the minister and all those things. And within a week, I was brought back to Moattura, where I worked for another 2 years.
സാറിനൊന്നും തോന്നിയില്ല. സാറിനൊരു വിഷമമുണ്ടായിരിക്കാം, പക്ഷെ സാറൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞില്ല. സാറ് പോവാൻ വില്ലിങ് ആയിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേങ്കിൽ ഈ ജനം, ഇവിടെയുള്ള നാട്ടുകാർ സമ്മതിച്ചില്ല അതിന്. കാരണം ഒരു ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ ഒരു ഡോക്ടറെ കാണാൻ ചെന്നാലുള്ള യാതൊരു ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടും സാറിനെ കാണാനുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. എവിടെ നിന്നും, ഇപ്പോൾ വാർഡിലാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ആണെങ്കിൽ അവർ അത്യാവശ്യം തോന്നിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവിടെ ഇരുന്ന് മെഡിസിൻ എഴുതി കൊടുക്കും സാർ. അപ്പോൾ ആർക്കും ഒരു ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടും ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിൽ നിന്ന് അവർക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ആ ഒരു സൗകര്യം കിട്ടിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്ന് പെട്ടെന്ന് ആ ഒരു ഫെസിലിറ്റി ഇല്ലാണ്ട് വരുമെന്ന് ചിന്തിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെയുള്ള ലേഡീസ് എല്ലാവരും കൂടെ അവർ സമരത്തിനിറങ്ങി. നേതാക്കന്മാരെ അവർ വഴി തടഞ്ഞു. ആ വഴി തടയലൊക്കെ നിമിഷം കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ എല്ലാം ഇതായി. കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ സാറിന് തിരിച്ചു വിട്ടു.
Again, after working for 2 more years, I took leave from government hospital and started my own clinic at the first floor of my rented residence, and used to see outpatients in my residence, and also attached to a hospital called St. George Hospital in Moattura, where I used to admit patients and where I used to do laparoscopy surgeries. And that hospital was owned by Dr. Paul Kallingal, and he was also very helpful. He was very supportive to me. During this period, I met Dr. Smita and later married her. She is a radiologist, and from the very beginning, she was helping me in my profession, because radiology is an indispensable part of obstetrics and gynecology. And she was very helpful, she was very accommodative, cooperative. She was adjusting to my long hours of work, late nights. Later, the next year, my daughter Gayatri was born. She is now in the 12th standard.
ഡോക്ടർ സബീൻ്റെ ഒരു ഡ്രീമായിരുന്നു IVF ഏറ്റവും ലോ കോസ്റ്റിൽ എല്ലാവർക്കും അഫോർഡബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കോസ്റ്റിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത്. കാരണം IVFൽ ആ സമയത്തൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര ഹൈ കോസ്റ്റായിരുന്നു, പലർക്കും അഫോർഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത കോസ്റ്റായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അത് എല്ലാവർക്കും, അതായത് ലോ എക്കണോമിക് ഉള്ളവർക്കും അത് അഫോർഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള IVF സെൻറ്റർ തുടങ്ങുന്നത് ഡ്രീമായിരുന്നു.
While I was working in the government hospital, I realized that starting an IVF center in the government sector was not possible at that time. So I thought I will build my own center, and the only way out was to come out of the government sector and start my own. With that motive, I started looking for places where I can build a clinic or a hospital. But it took almost a year, but I couldn't find one. Finally, found a building in a place called Perikapalli, which is around 5 kilometers from Matupura. It was a hospital half done by a trust, but they couldn't complete it. But it was a big hospital, and I couldn't afford it at that point of time. So I took a huge loan from a bank, and somehow I bought the hospital. And 2010, I started the hospital with myself and Dr. Smita and one Dr. Shirley, who was retired from the government service, also with us. Immediately after starting our hospital in 2010, my plan was to set up a very good IVF unit. Since the present hospital, the situation was not good enough, I built one more floor, which is now known as IVF floor, and started visiting different IVF centers in India, good IVF centers. I visited at least around 12 IVF centers, entered the lab, studied the lab, talked to the consultants and the embryologists in different labs, and on the basis of that, I had planned my own lab, IVF lab in Sabine Hospitals. And one major backbone of IVF unit is the embryologist. Usually what happens is at the beginning you get hired an embryologist for cases, but my intention was to have a full-time good embryologist to support my embryology lab. And finally I found Mr. Shyam Sridharan, and he's still now heading our embryology department. And with the help of other doctors like our radiologist Dr. Shafiq Muhammad, and my wife Dr. Smita, and the anesthetist Dr. Tirimeni, and Dr. Vinod, and IVF coordinators Bindu Moideen and Nisha, I could set up a very good lab which started functioning in 2013.
Here in the beginning itself, we had I think around 50 to 60 cases per month. If I remember correctly, around 300 people were waiting for Sabine sir to start the clinic to do their cases. So we had a huge number of cases. So it was a bit difficult initially. We had to work throughout the day and night to finish the cases. So that was the biggest challenge at that time, I think.
അങ്ങനെ ഒരു 5 വാമറിൽ തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട് നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ 50 വാമർ എന്നുള്ളൊരു ബെഡ് കപ്പാസിറ്റിയിൽ നമ്മുടെ NICU വളർന്നു. അത് പെട്ടെന്നായിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ വളർച്ച. അതിപ്പം എല്ലാവർക്കും കണ്ടാൽ തന്നെ അറിയാം, ഈ ബിൽഡിംഗ് വന്നതിന് ശേഷം, ഈ ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ വന്നതിന് ശേഷമാണ് ചുറ്റുഭാഗം മുഴുവൻ എല്ലാം ഡെവലപ്പായത്. ഈ ഒരു സിറ്റി തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഈ സബൈൻ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിനെ വെച്ച് തന്നെ അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന ആ ഒരു ലെവലിലേക്ക് വരെ എത്തി.
I feel thrilled and excited that I could bring this facility into a place like Mohatpura, where people are very loving. Even the politicians, the panchayat members, panchayat president, the local politicians, and our leaders, all political parties, they are all very supportive in all the activities of the hospital.
ഒരു ചെറിയ പട്ടണം എന്ന് പറയാവുന്ന ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് ഇപ്പോൾ അതിവിപുലമായ ഒരു വളർച്ച ഈ ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ കൊണ്ട് ഞങ്ങളുടെ നാടിനുണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. പഞ്ചായത്തിന് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് വരുമാനം വർദ്ധിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. പല സ്റ്റേറ്റുകളിൽ നിന്നും സബൈൻ ഡോക്ടറെ കാണാൻ ഇവിടെ ആളുകൾ എത്തുന്നു. അതിനോട് ചുവട് പിടിച്ച് ഹോട്ടലുകൾ, ടാക്സി, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഹോം സ്റ്റേ, ഇവിടെ എത്ര ഹോം സ്റ്റേ ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പോലും പറയാൻ പറ്റാത്ത അത്ര എണ്ണങ്ങൾ കൂടി വരുന്നൊരു സാഹചര്യമുണ്ടായി.
During this journey, actually, I would like to mention some important people who were really helpful and supporting me at hard times and at also good times. First of all, I would like to remember my father and my mother, who are very supportive always, from my school days, college days, during my failures in medical college, during my success through the IVF journey. I would like to remember my father and my mother, and I would also like to thank them. And then my wife and my daughter Gayatri, who always missed me during her growth period, but she knows it's for a cause, and now she understands that. I would like to mention certain people who have been very important in this journey. Is one of my uncles, Mr. Santosh, who has been with me throughout from the very beginning of this hospital, and unfortunately he had to surrender to cancer 3 years back. Now he is no more with us. Another uncle, Mr. Satish Chandran, he has also been a moral supporter for me always, and still now he's helping me and supporting me in many things. A few staff, mainly Miss Daisy, she joined me as a lab technician in my clinic, and the performance was exemplary, very hardworking, and she is an integral part of the hospital even now. My only sister Deepa, who is working in the LIC of India, has been a very staunch supporter and advisor and a moral supporter always from the very beginning.
ഇത് എന്തിനെ കഠിനാധ്വാനം ചെന്ന് ഇത്രയും ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്താലേ ഇത് മുമ്പോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ. ഇത് മുമ്പോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നത് ഒരു ഫെയിലിയർ ആയാൽ എന്നെ മാത്രമായിരിക്കും എല്ലാവരും കുറ്റം പറയും. ഇത് ഓരോന്ന് ആലോചിച്ചിട്ട് വേണ്ട ചെയ്യാൻ നടക്കാത്ത കാര്യം ഇതൊക്കെ ചെയ്തു തരണമെന്നുള്ളത് പറയും. അതേസമയം ഇത് ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ മാത്രം ഒന്ന് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടിയാൽ മതിയില്ല, എന്നെ കൊണ്ട് പറ്റുമെന്നുള്ളതാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എനിക്ക് തന്നെ ഒരു വിളിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെ അവർ പറയുന്നതാണ്, പിന്നെ വേറെ ഒന്നും പറയാനില്ല. ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് തന്നെയാണ്.
I also would like to acknowledge the support and advice of Dr. Sam John, who is looking after our unit in Trivandrum. He has always been a constant supporter and advisor to me throughout my journey.
His service to the poor patients, he got appreciated, and he never compromised on any quality. He gives only high quality medicines. So when you compare to the quality of medicine that he purchases and he gives, he never compromises on quality. But at the same time, he gives to the patients very affordable price. That is his unique.
We have started our own center at Tanur in Malappuram district. We have got all the facilities in Tanur in a big building, which started functioning in November 2024. We are expanding our Trivandrum unit to a different place with all the facilities including IVF and laparoscopic surgery, and that unit will be headed by Dr. Sam John. Our next plan is to start a couple of other centers, mostly in Kozhikode and Kollam. We are looking for places, and then to expand to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu by the end of 5 years. And by the end of 10 years, I think we should be having a few centers in the whole of India, mainly the metros. We're targeting on the metros, with the intention of giving back to society what we have gained. We have formed a society called Aditi Welfare Society, which is an integral part of our CSR activities. We give some free treatment to poor patients in need. For some patients, we do even IVF and laparoscopic surgery completely free of cost. And the last thing we have done is we have built 9 houses for the poor people, which we will be distributing shortly to the people in need. The continuous CSR activities are taken care of a good team in our hospital.
ഇവിടുത്തെ ഏറ്റവും നിർധരരായിട്ടുള്ള ആളുകൾക്കാണ് ആ വീട് കൊടുക്കാൻ സാറ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത്. അതിനേക്കാളുപരി സാറ് എന്നും സാറിന് ഒരു മാസത്തിൽ ഒരു 5 പേയ്മെൻറ്റെങ്കിലും സാറ് പാവങ്ങൾക്ക് കൊടുത്തിരിക്കും. ആര് സാറിന് വന്ന് സമീപിച്ചാലും നോ പറയുന്ന ഒരു രീതി ഞാൻ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ടൊരു മനുഷ്യത്വം ഉള്ള ഒരു മാനുഷിക ഹൃദയമുള്ളൊരു ഡോക്ടറാണ് സാറ്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഞങ്ങളെപ്പോൾ ഒരു തിരക്കിൻ്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് പോയാലും ഞങ്ങൾ തിരിച്ചറിയും. ഒരു ബോസിന് എപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ തൊഴിലാളികളെ അത്ര എന്നോട് മാത്രമല്ല ഈച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവരി സ്റ്റാഫ് ഹി ഷുഡ് റിയലൈസ് വാട്ട് ദെയർ പേര് പോലും മറന്നുപോകില്ല. അതാണ് അവരുടെ ഒരു സാറിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത.
An advice to aspiring doctors, especially who come to the infertility segment, is you should always give ethical treatment, legal treatment with a human touch. You should be empathetic to the patient. It is very important to be empathy. You should listen to them. Listening is the most important thing as far as a patient is concerned. Take time to listen, respond to their queries, and you finish with that patient only after all their questions are answered satisfactorily. And finally, we are always enriching the lives of many couples who come without children. When they are pregnant and do go back with their baby, you're answering a big question in their life. Their life starts then, a meaningful life starts at that point of time for the couple. Another thing I feel is IVF is becoming more popular now because technology has improvised now drastically because of technology, and the cost of IVF is also coming down because the manpower has increased, the number of IVF clinics has increased, and in the medicines, the media which is used in IVF, they are also superior now than before. I think maybe in the coming future, IVF will be a short treatment for infertility in most of the cases. When a couple approaches any of our doctors in Sabine Hospital, we always take a proper history of their medical history, our personal history and a family history, and treat them with that keeping in mind. Our intention is to give them a baby as soon as possible in the best possible way, and if we cannot do that, we tell them openly that it's not possible. When they go back with a baby in hand, that's the time where our real dreams are fulfilled.